All right, welcome everybody. My name is Mrs. Rafferty. Today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about reading with intonation and expression. So when you think of intonation and expression, I know that they're very big words, and as kindergartners we don't necessarily know what it means. But when we talk about expression, we want to be excited about the things that we're reading. We want to be ready to see what happens next. So we're going to use the story Growing Plants. And I'm going to show you the pictures on the left side as we move through the story. And then we're going to go to the words on the right side. And then we do have our vocabulary words in here as well. So we're going to stop and pause and think about those as well. So growing plants. What things do plants need to grow? So as you heard when I said this, I didn't just say what things do plants need to grow. It's pretty boring. So I want you to really think about it. I want to show expression. I want to show my voice go up and down. I want to get you excited about what we're reading. And I also want you to think about, what do you already know about what plants need to grow? If you've ever been in a forest, you know that trees can grow taller than a house. Over many years, trees reached higher and higher toward the sky. A tree is a type of plant, and a plant is a type of living thing. Like all living things, including humans and plants, need some help in order to grow. A plant can be anything, from a tree or a flower to a carrot or a patch of moss. Even though plants live in different places and look different from each other, all plants require the same things to survive and to grow. Those things are soil, food, water, air, sunlight, and space. Does all of this sound familiar? It should, because you need most of these things to grow too. So as you heard as I read that, I kind of made my voice go up and down. I showed a lot of expression. I want to know, what are some of the things that we know about plants? So in our last question it says, does all of this sound familiar? It should, because you need most of these things to grow too. So just like plants, you guys need food and water and air and sun and space. Which means you don't want to be cramped up sitting next to each other like this all the time. The one thing we really don't need to grow is soil. We know soil is a fancy word for dirt. So you don't need to eat dirt or play with dirt or roll around in dirt to grow. You're going to grow without dirt. So let's take a look at our next picture. So here we have our plants and the sunlight. So here's our next picture. So we know that these are the plants growing up. These are the bulbs or the seeds, and the roots are growing down. So we're going to read the next page, and like I said, I do see some words that are italicized. So that means I'm going to read them with expression. I'm going to show a little bit of emphasis as I read it. We all know what it feels like to be hungry or thirsty. Plants need food and water just like people do. Plants do not chew or swallow, though. Instead, their roots soak up food and water from the soil around them. A plant needs to have just the right weather and soil. If a plant does not get the food and water it needs, it can die. A plant's roots are the parts that keep it steady in the ground. So you can see that it says steady in the ground. Steady means that it kind of keeps it so it doesn't flop upside down or die falling over. Keeps it real nice and straight so they can grow up. The roots pull food from the soil, which is another word for dirt. So as you can see, that word italicized is dirt. It's also telling us that that's a different word for soil. We know we can use words in many different ways. And so instead of saying, oh, we're digging our soil, we could say, I got to dig up the dirt to plant my plants so that they grow straight up. I don't want my plants to die. Decaying plants and animals leave behind minerals in the soil. The minerals are food that helps plants to grow. So you heard my voice go up and down. I'm showing expression. I'm showing intonation. I'm getting you all excited about it as we read. A plant uses water to move materials from its roots to all of its other parts, like the stem and the leaves. Most plants also use water to make their own food. Do you want to learn how? So instead of me just saying, do you want to learn how? Because that's kind of boring. I kind of use my voice to go up and down. Do you want to learn how? How can we help those plants make their own food? So let's look at our next slide here. So here we have the little part of the stem, the plant, the little baby plant growing up. And we are going to read our next page to find out what part of the plant this is. It is true. Plants can make some food on their own. In order to do this, they require sunlight, air, and water. Most of the action happens in the leaf. With the ingredients of light, air, and water, the leaf makes sugar. Then the plant uses the sugar to grow. When plants make sugar, they also give off a gas that all living things need. This gas is called oxygen. I'm sorry. This gas called oxygen makes up part of the air that we breathe. Now you know why trees and other plants are so important to humans and other animals. We can't live without them. So we need oxygen to breathe every day, every minute, every second, every hour. We have to breathe the oxygen. And if you look at our reading, there are commas in there, and that kind of tells you to take a little pause as you read. So it says this gas, called oxygen, makes up part of the air that we breathe. And we know that period means to stop. When we keep forests healthy, we help the entire planet. The more plants we grow, the better air will be. It is also important to keep smoke, garbage, and other types of harmful materials out of the air and water. This waste blocks sunlight and makes water dirty. And, as you know, plants need good sunlight and clean air and water. So there I continue to read with that expression and intonation. I'm making my voice go up and down. I'm showing that I'm enthusiastic. I really want to learn what happens with these plants. So we are going to continue. I'm going to move my face over a little bit. We're going to take a look at the next picture. So here we have 4 different types of plants. We have some plants on a rocky mountain. We have some underground. We have some cactus, and we have some by a little creek. Plants grow almost anywhere. You might find one poking up through a crack in the sidewalk. So that's like this one right here. Could be a sidewalk, we don't know. Could be a mountain. Or you might see a branch growing between 2 big rocks. And you might ask yourself, how did that plant find room to grow? So if you look in this first one, you can see there's little cracks, and those plants can come right up through those cracks to grow out. A plant can grow just about anywhere, from completely underwater, just like these ones here, the seaweed, to the dry desert, like these cactus. Still, plants need space to grow fully. You might see a stubbly stem come up through a hole in your driveway, but you'll never see a tall elm tree there, because we know that a tree cannot grow through a little crack in the driveway. Trees need lots and lots of space to grow. Roots need plenty of soil so that they can soak up food and water. In a forest, trees must grow tall so they can get enough sunlight. Just as you need space to run and play, plants need land to grow tall and wide. Plants are having a tough time these days. Humans are using up more and more land for buildings and roads. Instead, people must save land for plants. If we crowd plants into small spaces, they will be small and unhealthy, or they will not grow at all. In the end, what do plants and humans need? They need each other. So that was very informative, and as you heard through the reading, I didn't just speak on one monotone. I used my voice to go up and down. I used those commas and I used those spaces to take a pause, to really emphasize what we are reading. Those are some different ideas that you can do as you read. If it's something exciting, you make your voice go up and down. If it's something scary, take a little slower as you read through it. If it's something happy, show happy in your face. I want you to always read with intonation and expression, because the more you read, the more you show expression and intonation, the more exciting the readers and yourself will be about reading what you have to read. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Have a great day.